Trey Reed's second autopsy came back, and if you understand American history, you're not surprised at all at the results. Blunt force trauma to the back of the head. They are showing that this man was beaten badly before he was hung. We don't know if it's at the campus where he was beaten or if he was taken to another location, beaten, and then hung at the campus. But foul play is at play, and we already knew.
Welcome on into another episode of the Healthy Discussion Show. I told you guys I was going to give you an update on what's going on. First, we didn't know what exactly was taking place with the Trey Reed situation. I thought it was foul play, but it's not really what I think, right? Sometimes if you're not there and you're just speculating, you don't know. But it was like, when I checked out Mississippi, right? And I checked out the sundown states, and then I checked out the history of hanging people and XYZ. I said, this is actually a reoccurring act, right? This is a reoccurring act, and I understand that they're trying to trigger a race war that may be the side effect of these things, because word on the street is it was because of the CK situation, right? And I'm not talking Calvin Klein, but let's get into it. Let's go.
Video footage, as far as I know, has not been released yet to the family. So there are surveillance videos that were on during the time that could give us an idea of what may have happened and who may have hung this young man. May he rest in peace. But that has not been released. The family has hired the well-known civil rights attorney, Ben Crump. So I'm thinking that sooner rather than later, that video surveillance has to be released for this family to get justice for Trey Reed. Lynching by suicide is now America's rebranded face of...
What I don't get is, and this may be speculating a bit, the police department stated that this was a suicide without even having any evidence, without even stating that, or without even getting the autopsy results. That was the red flag to me. Like, how do you come up with this so fast when the results takes 24 to 48 hours, three business days? How do you come up with these things so fast? Then I said, from a business perspective, maybe they're protecting, right, Delta University. Maybe they're protecting Delta State University because it is a business. College is a business. And if you tell people, hey, this happened, semester is coming along, the new semester is coming along, enrollment, they get paid off of enrollment. So less and less people are enrolling, right? Then what does that mean to you? It means there's less money that you make, right? Which means the less money the police department and funding that they would get. So it would be in their best interest to actually keep it quiet. Not saying that they're involved, but it just look a bit as if that they might be. But let's continue.
You said hateful, sad case of some people. I'm trying to figure out how the hell do I see crickets on the internet? Ain't nobody gonna call it what it is. Ain't nobody gonna say what it is. You mean to tell me 21-year-old Trey Reed was found hanging at Delta State University? First off, the first thing that they said was there was no foul play. Immediately, we had to ask questions. They went to do an autopsy. Keep in mind, we still don't got no footage from the school. But Delta State University, I'm on your ass. Went and did the autopsy.
The question is, with them be, where's the footage? That should be the ultimate question. Where's the footage? This is a college campus. There's millions of cameras around. This is 2025. This is not 1965, nor 1925. But that's the first thing. Let's get down to the bottom of it.
And said that it was suicide, no foul play. They was quick to say. But what they did not expect was Colin Kaepernick. They wasn't expecting nobody to stand together for this situation. They just thought they could sweep it under the rug. They thought we was going to forget. But I'm looking at social media right now, I'm like, damn, it looked like we did. Trey Reed was an example of what they can do. Trey Reed was an example of what they think they can do. Trey Reed was an example to show y'all ain't gonna speak up. Colin Kaepernick did. And for some time, it looked like social media and everybody else did too.
This is one thing that's kind of... I'm scouring through the internet, right? Because generally when you upload a video, you want to make sure that you have supporting details, supporting evidence, right? And for some reason, I don't see any news channels talking about this. Why is that? Like, we talk about everything else. This should be headline. We talk about everything else. Why aren't any news channels talking about this? I had to go to YouTube. I had to go through TikTok to get an update on this story. The news have not given us an update since they reported the suicidal claim, which hints that they may be biased or they may be hooked just to one side of the story. They don't want to hear what's actually going on, right? But we're going to get down to the bottom because more and more people should be talking about these things. More and more people should be talking about this. This is one reason why I decided to cover it on today's YouTube update with me dropping a video, because I said that I was, and I said there's something funny about it, but I don't want to jump to any conclusion. Now, if someone get hit blunt force behind, obviously from behind, head trauma, and then hung, they can't hang themselves if they got hit from behind, legs broken. So basically what it's insinuating to me is that he got jumped, he got beat up. It was more than 1, 2, or 3 people, obviously. They decide to hang him. And what was so funny is that, well, not funny because it's not even a funny situation. What's so ironic is that where are these people? What's their nationality? Why aren't they in handcuffs yet? What's going on with that? You know? But if it was the other way around, if it was black and white, well, obviously it's white on black, but if it was black on white, he would have been in handcuffs before you even knew it, even if he was innocent or not. So how do you let these people roam around? You have videos and you're not taking this seriously. It goes to show this can be very upsetting, very much so.
You said hateful, sad case of some people. I'm trying to figure out how the hell do I see crickets on the internet? Ain't nobody gonna call it what it is. Ain't nobody gonna say what it is. You mean to tell me 21-year-old Trey Reed was found hanging at Delta State University? First off, the first thing that they said was there was no foul play. Immediately we had to ask questions. They went to do an autopsy. Keep in mind, we still don't got no footage from the school. But Delta State University, I'm on your ass. Went and did the autopsy and said that it was suicide, no foul play. They was quick to say it. But what they did not expect was Colin Kaepernick. They wasn't expect nobody to stand together for this situation. They just thought they could sweep it under the rug. They thought we was gonna forget. But I'm looking at social media right now, I'm like, damn, it looked like we did. Trey Reed was an example of what they can do. Trey Reed was an example of what they think they can do. Trey Reed was an example to show y'all ain't gonna speak up. Colin Kaepernick did. And for some time, it looked like social media and everybody else did too. But y'all mean to tell me no news coverage is covering details right now about what's happening right now? The fact that they lied completely to the parents. The fact that they lied to the entire world. It took Colin Kaepernick to do what their job was to do.
And to me, that's one hell of a lawsuit. If this is true, right, and it seems to me it's leading towards that, right? First of all, you didn't let the parents know exactly what was going on. You had the footage and then you still cover it up. And then there's no amount of money. I don't care how much money they get. They can be millionaires, billionaires after this, right? You cannot bring their son back. You cannot bring their son back. No, ain't no amount of money in the world bringing their son back. So that's something that they're going to have to deal with for all of their life, the rest of their life.
It's the update. Autopsy is saying this man had a fractured skull from the back of his head, had contusions and bruises, his back and his buttocks. It wasn't suicide, this was a brutal beatdown. Notice the media is silent. Notice ain't nobody talking about this. Brutally beating him. I mean, based on what they saying that happened and where the bruises are, that's the only thing you can think. And they hung him. They hung a 21-year-old black boy and ruled it a suicide. Now social media is mad at Colin Kaepernick because he should have just let it rest. every time I see something happen, they say, oh,
what do you mean he should have just let it rest? Colin Kaepernick did the right thing. He said, okay, let's get some funding to get down to the bottom of it. It's like you going to court and you having the difference between you having a court-appointed lawyer and actually a paid lawyer that you pay for on retainer. It's a big difference. You're going to get a different outcome. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a different outcome. So for this, if they wanted to get an outcome, get down to the bottom of it, what was so wrong with Kaepernick doing what he's supposed to do? He deserved a Medal of Honor. If you ask me, hell, he deserved a Purple Heart, if you ask me. Now, I wanted to, because I was scouring the internet, right? The only place I could find this on was TikTok. And this is why I like TikTok. This is one of the reasons why I like TikTok, right? So let's actually get this in black and white. Right? Let's get this in black and white. Because this is one of the articles that I can find, right? Let's get this in black and white. This is one of the articles that I can find. And let me zoom in for you guys, right? Trey Reed. Case update. Kaepernick funded autopsy confirms it wasn't suicide. This was a day ago. Right? This was just yesterday at 8:37 a.m. So this is a fresh update. Today is the October 6th. Today is October 6th. So let's read. Let me know if you guys can see that clearly. Okay, let's read. Well, I'll just read it aloud, right? With a new findings and a blunt force trauma, the death of Trey Reed demands answer about transparency, accountability, and the fight for justice in Mississippi. Obviously, you guys know this is Trey Reed. When a 21-year-old black student is found dead on Mississippi University campus, the official explanation is often swift. Oh, it was Taylor Swift. Suicide. But for the family of Trey Reed, that story beginning to crumble, exposing deep-seated distrust in state, still haunted by its history. Listen to the wording of it, still haunted by history. So these things been happening. The death of the Delta State University students, initially dismissed by local authorities, had taken a dramatic turn. A second independent autopsy funded by the former NFL quarterback and activist Colin Kaepernick has revealed blunt force trauma to Reed's head. This cast serious doubt on claims he died by hanging alone and fuels a fight for the truth. A story under scrutiny. On the 15th of September, Reed's body was discovered hanging from a tree near a pickleball court. Now, who in the hell play pickleball, right? What's 1 + 1? Police quickly labeled it a suicide. I wonder why. Publicly stating there was no foul play. Of course you're going to say that because you're trying to keep, it's just like any media channel. You're trying to keep people calm when you actually know the truth is very disruptive. While the county coroner initially reported no signs of bruises or fractures. So how could you report that if you didn't have the autopsy? Like, make it make sense. How could you report that, right? If you didn't have the autopsy. This is why you don't trust the police at all. And if you actually do the research on the police, right? There were slave catchers from back in the day, but let's just be technical. They're wearing the same badge if you really want to do your homework, right? Reed's family immediately contested the ruling, pointing to visible injuries on his body and insisted the circumstances were profoundly suspicious. The family seen the bruises, and the cops don't see the bruises, so they pick and choose what they want to see, obviously. A state where the history of lynching looms large. That's why I say Mississippi is known for these things. And where a deep-seated distrust of official narratives exists, the community was unwilling to accept the official line without a far greater scrutiny. The second look reveals a darker truth. The narrative shifted dramatically following the intervention of Kaepernick's know your rights. Independent review stand in a stark contrast to the initial assessment. According to sources working closely with Reed's family, the examination revealed significant blunt force trauma to the back of his head. This evidence is fundamentally inconsistent with a death by suicide. It's no way that's a suicide. So suicide is out the window. The family's legal team has reportedly reviewed these disturbing details, strengthening their calls for a completely independent inquiry. The development begs a critical question: how did the initial investigation overlook such a vital piece of evidence? Inside. That's inside. I'm gonna leave the article, right? Let me copy the article because I'm gonna leave the article in the description, and I want you guys to finish this, ladies and gentlemen. We have now came to a more let's just say realistic point of view. This man was brutally he was brutally beaten. This was not suicide at all, and justice needs to be served. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that justice needs to be served. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't believe so and you think this is still a suicide. And this is all over some CK his sister disagreeing, or his relative or cousin disagreeing with some people on campus, and he took the CK event as a racial warfare. On that note, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. This is another episode of the Healthy Discussion Show. You guys know how I like to end it. Positivity over negativity always.